Have you ever found yourself wondering, why do I spend so much time alone? Why is my social circle so small? Or, let's be real, maybe even non-existent. It can feel incredibly isolating, can it? And man, this is the message we get hit with all the time, isn't it? That if you don't have this huge, bustling social life, there must be something fundamentally wrong with you. You're awkward, you're antisocial, you're somehow broken. And that is such a heavy weight to carry around.
But what if all that time you've spent feeling totally misunderstood was actually pointing to something completely different? What if it's just about the way your mind is wired?
Okay, so here's the thing. It's not that you can't make friends. It's that your mind is just operating on a whole other level. A level of awareness that values truth way more than it values just fitting in. Your solitude isn't some kind of failure. It's a byproduct of your intelligence.
So, let's really get into it. Let's break down the psychological patterns behind this whole thing. We're going to look at 7, let's call them brutal, unflinching reasons why some of the smartest people out there often walk alone.
All right, reason number 1. This one starts with your built-in detector for anything that isn't authentic.
I mean, you see it instantly, don't you? The forced laughter, the attention-seeking drama, the performative kindness that seems to fool everybody else, but not you. And because you see the raw truth behind people's behavior, you just can't bring yourself to play along. And that makes people so uncomfortable. They might look at your silence and think it's arrogance, but what's really happening is your authenticity is just exposing their performance.
And psychology actually has a name for this. It's called high social perception. It's this heightened ability to read all the tiny little micro signals that just give the whole game away. And look, this isn't about being judgmental. It's simply pattern recognition, but on a really, really high level.
And that leads us right into reason number 2, which is all about what you're actually looking for in a conversation.
The soul-crushing boredom of small talk, it is so real, right? All that gossip about coworkers, the drama about celebrities, it just feels like static. You're craving conversations with some actual substance, something we could call compatible depth. And get this, research actually shows that people with higher IQs report feeling less happy the more time they spend socializing. Kind of wild.
And this is really the great divide, isn't it? You're not looking for that surface-level chit-chat. You're looking for an exchange of ideas. You want to talk about the future, have a philosophical debate. And sometimes, loneliness is just the price you pay for seeking out that rare, compatible depth.
All right, reason number 3. This one's a little more internal. It's all about that voice inside your own head. Do you ever do this? You leave a party or some social event and you just replay everything? Picking apart every single word you said, totally overthinking how you came across? It's just exhausting. You can't even be present in the moment because your brain is too busy analyzing the interaction itself.
So this trait has a name too. It's called hyper self-awareness. And to other people, it might come across as you being distant or uninterested, but the reality is you're just trapped in this constant state of mental observation. Like, for example, instead of just laughing at a joke, you're analyzing whether your laugh sounds genuine, which makes it almost impossible to relax and just, connect.
Okay, moving on to the 4th reason, this one often feels like a superpower and a curse all at the same time.
See, your brain is basically a pattern recognition machine on steroids. You notice the tiny emotional shifts, the subtle cues that just fly over everyone else's head. So you're not just hearing what people are saying, you're constantly analyzing why they're saying it. And when you can spot manipulation or jealousy or dishonesty that easily, well, your natural response is to just quietly back away, to protect your own peace.
Now for number 5. This one really taps into a powerful sense of independence.
I mean, think about it for a second. Most friendships, they're kind of built on this shared dependency, right? Venting to each other, looking for reassurance, that constant back and forth. But you're different. You regulate your own emotions. You solve your own problems. You tend to deal with things internally.
And here's the brutal truth about what's called emotional self-reliance. Because you almost never ask for help or show that you're in need emotionally, people can subconsciously start to feel, kind of useless around you. Social bonds often rely on that mutual need. So if you don't seem to need anything from anyone, they're left without a role to play. You're just too self-contained for most people to figure out how to get close. So eventually, they stop trying.
All right, reason number 6. This one gets right to the core of your relationship with the group, with the crowd itself.
So psychologists call this low social conformity. What does that mean? It means you don't just follow trends. You don't mimic what the group is doing just to fit in. When everyone else is just blindly accepting some social rule, you're the one in the back going, "But why?" And while that kind of independent thinking might earn you some quiet respect, it also prevents closeness. Because, let's face it, most people bond over being the same, not over being different.
And that brings us to our final reason, number 7. This one explains why your social circle, if you even have one, seems to be constantly changing.
Your main focus in life, it's growth, it's self-improvement. And because you're evolving so quickly, mentally, emotionally, you just inevitably outgrow the people around you. Once you've learned what you needed to learn from a situation or a person, you move on. And it's not about being cold, it's just evolution. For a mind like yours, the idea of staying stuck is way more terrifying than the idea of being alone.
So, the most important thing to take away from all this is that walking alone does not mean something is wrong with you. It just means your mind is built differently. You value honesty, you value peace, you value deep thought, way more than you value constant emotional noise. You aren't misunderstood, you're just rare.
So I'm really curious, which of these 7 reasons really hits home for you? Is it that zero-tolerance policy for fake behavior? Or maybe the hyper-self-awareness? Just take a second and think about it, because your answer might reveal a whole lot about the powerful mind you really have.